Hello friend, today I'm going to show you how to make Meat Lovers Pizza Roll-Ups, a delicious carnivore recipe that is straight out of my new book, Complete Carnivore. It's the perfect way to enjoy all of the flavors of pizza without the carbs and with nothing but cheese, meat, and pure satisfaction. Complete Carnivore comes out on November 4th, just in time for the holidays, and it is now available for pre-order. I've dropped the links for you in the description below. Now, let's get to cooking. We're gonna be using 6 large pepperoni slices. Now by large, I mean large, not the little baby ones. I like these right here, any brand, but just the large size because it's much more substantial and easier to roll up in the cheese. Then we're going to be using 2 cups of shredded whole milk mozzarella. Now this is really, really important. You cannot use part skim or anything like that. Let me show you what I use for this. This brand right here. This is a really, really good one. Whole milk mozzarella. The reason for this is the part skim, it melts weird. It doesn't roll up correctly. So you want whole milk, whatever brand you can find, whole milk mozzarella, 2 cups shredded. Next up, you're going to do 1/4 cup of cooked Italian sausage. I get really anything I could find. This was actually 30% off at Jewel, so I bought a bunch of it and put it in my freezer. I'm gonna cook this up, but really any kind of Italian sausage that you like, just cooked up nice and done whatever way you like to have your sausage done. That makes 0 sense, I'm sorry. It's the afternoon, I'm tired. The next ingredient is going to be crumbled bacon. I get this from Costco. You can get any kind you like, uncured, cured, whatever. We're also going to be using some Italian seasoning. Now this is optional if you're not using any kind of seasonings on carnivore, whatever, that's totally fine. I actually can't find my Italian seasoning, so I'm just gonna put some oregano on it. Just a few little sprinkles, nothing crazy. If you don't wanna use it, don't use it, that's okay. And then if you want to dip this in something, you can do my Buttermilk Ranch recipe, which is another recipe out of Complete Carnivore. Maybe I should show you how to make that today too. Maybe, I think I'll do that. Or you could use like a low carb marinara sauce if you wanna have a keto option. In my opinion, using a tiny bit of marinara sauce really isn't the end of the world if the rest of your diet is, pure carnivore. I'm not a carnivore police officer. I'm not gonna come and get you if you wanna use some marinara, okay? Okay, so let's get to assembling these pizza rolls. Okay, so first we're going to preheat the oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. Next, we're going to line a baking sheet with a piece of parchment paper. You could also use a silicone mat. Either works. So what I like to do is roll some with the pepperoni facing outwards and some with the pepperoni facing inwards, and then you get this really nice, pretty plate when you're plating it. You can do whatever you want, but that's kind of how I do it. So we're gonna start by laying 6 pepperonis onto the baking sheet. I only do 6 because the cheese can kind of spread out a little bit, and I like there to be room in between each of the rolls. And then this one is for me. Yummy. Now I'm gonna get this meat cooking, and movie magic, you don't have to watch any of it. It's video. So wonderful, right? Meat just got done cooking, but I wanted to take a moment to thank today's sponsor, Element Electrolytes. I've been using them since the beginning of carnivore, and I've been on carnivore for almost 3 years. So a really, really long time. I love Element because they are delicious and really, really easy to use. I also travel a lot, so these tiny little packets right here, they are so light and they travel really easily. They have a bunch of different flavors, but they also have a raw unflavored if you don't want to have any kind of flavoring or sweeteners or anything like that. The other ones are made with stevia and other flavors. I really like the watermelon, I really like the grapefruit, but my favorite is their lemonade salt. I already drank my month's supply, so I'm awaiting my new shipment. But what I do, I fill up this bad boy, 20 ounces of water with ice, put in a packet of Element electrolytes, good to go. I'm drinking like 3 of these per day. 3, because they're so good. Right now, Element is offering my viewers a free sample pack with any order, so you can head to the link in the description. It's drinkelement.com/Jenny Middich. That's DRINKLMNT.com/Jenny Middich, and get your free sample pack with any order today. Now I must chop up the bacon, shred up the cheese, and we can assemble these pizza rolls. When I was testing out this recipe, I tried the part skim and it just kept not turning out right. I couldn't find any whole milk slices, whole milk mozzarella slices, so I just decided to shred my own. And anyways, you would avoid the anti-caking agents that are in shredded cheese or in slices. So let me know in the comments what your favorite pizza topping is. Mine is green olive and pepperoni. All right, that's gonna be enough. I don't wanna shred it all. All right, bacon incoming. And I put some paper towel so we can get some of this grease off. This doesn't have to be perfect, just a rough cut here. Perfection. That'll be more than enough. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna cover each one of these pepperonis with the 3 ingredients. So I always like to start with the cheese. Now this cheese is going to spread out. So you wanna make sure you are giving it some room here. And a nice, liberal spreading of the cheese. Don't skimp on the cheese. All right, next up, let's do some sausage. So I like to kind of roll it in my hand to kind of get it to be smaller.
Hey, that's what she said.
And then sprinkle it on the top, like so. Sausage is added. Then we're gonna use bacon. Same thing. I just did I don't know, what does this call for? 1/4 of a cup of crumbled bacon. You could probably do 3 or 4 slices and get the amount you need. Now again, if you wanna add in some other ingredients, now is the time. If you wanted to do green olive or onion or green pepper or anything, just add it to the top of the cheese now because it's gonna melt into the cheese. That is what you want. Then I'm going to be using the oregano because that's all I have. I would prefer Italian seasoning, but you don't have to use much, just a sprinkle. If you don't want to use this, don't use it. It's totally fine. Okay, I've got my pizza roll-ups here, ready to go in the oven. They are going to bake for 7 to 8 minutes. You need to pay attention to these bad boys. Let me put them in and I'll tell you why. So you want the cheese to be nice and bubbly. It's going to spread out a bit.
Yeah, boy.
After these 6.5 to 8 minutes, 7 to 8 minutes, you're going to pull it from the oven and you're going to let them rest for a few minutes because at the point where they're boiling hot, you can't roll them up. They'll burn your fingers off. We don't want to do that. So you got to give them a few minutes to rest. Then what you're going to do is you're going to roll each one into a crepe shape. Now remember, the pepperoni is on the bottom right now. So if you want the pepperoni to be showing on the outside of the roll once it's rolled up, you need to roll it that way. If you want to have the sausage showing on the outside, flip it over and then roll it that way and then you'll see the sausage. I like to do kind of like 1 pepperoni, 1 sausage, 1 pepperoni, 1 sausage, and then it looks really pretty on the plate. But these go down really quickly, so if you don't care at all about what they look like, just roll them however you want. It's gonna work either way. It's gonna taste exactly the same either way, but to each their own. So these are all rolled up now. Look at these beauts. Gorgeousness. They are best eaten fresh, so I would eat these right away, and they're gonna go quick. 1 serving size is 1, 2, 3. So you're gonna get 2 servings out of this. Now, these are made fresh. I'm going to show you how to make the Buttermilk Ranch now. You can eat these the way they are if you want, but the Buttermilk Ranch is really, really yummy, and it's another recipe in my book, Complete Carnivore. So let me show you how to make it. And it's super simple. Now, some people are gonna be like, oh, this isn't carnivore. It has avocado mayo and dairy and blah. You know what? It is what it is. Dairy is allowed on the least strict version of carnivore. And avocado mayo, if you're going to use a mayo that you don't make yourself, which I do have several mayo recipes in the book, avocado oil is going to be the most innocuous. It's the best version of mayonnaise that you can get store-bought. And as a busy mom, I'm not going to be making mayonnaise all the time. Let's be realistic, right? So let's gather all of our ingredients. We have avocado oil mayo, some full-fat sour cream, buttermilk, some white wine vinegar, some freshly squeezed lemon juice, which is optional if you really don't want to include any kind of plant material, but it really brightens the dressing, so I would advise including it. Some dried dill, some dried parsley, some dried chives, some onion powder, some salt, and 2 to 6 cloves of garlic. Now, the reason I have that range is because some people like just a hint of garlic, and some are like, I want it all to be garlic. I really like garlicky Buttermilk Ranch. So you get to decide how much you want to use. And again, garlic, the spices, the lemon are all optional, but honestly, why even bother putting together a ranch dressing if you're not gonna have all that stuff? In my humble opinion. Okay, so let's refer to the recipe. We need 1/2 cup of our avocado mayo. I always like to use a glass or plastic, whatever. Glass is better. Measuring cup, and just put it right into there with the little silicone spatula, and it makes it so easy to get it out as well. A little bit more. Okay. Okay, next up is gonna be 1/2 cup of full-fat sour cream. None of that low-fat stuff, not for this recipe. Perfection. And then we're gonna do 1/2 cup of buttermilk. Couldn't be simpler. I always shake it up before. Boom. Now, if you don't like buttermilk, you don't have to include it. Just do more sour cream and more of the avocado mayo, but I like that kind of tangy buttermilk taste. All right, great. So that's all in, and then we're gonna add our 2 tablespoons of white vinegar. We're gonna add just 1 tablespoon of freshly squeezed lemon. There we go. Then I like to mix this all up with a whisk. Now, we're going to combine all the stuff first, and then we'll add in the garlic and the spices. Now let's see what we need. We need a tablespoon of dill, 1 tablespoon of parsley. You're gonna do 2 teaspoons of your dried chives, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, and finally 1 teaspoon of salt. Perfection. Let's get our whisk back. And I think I'm going to use 2 big cloves to start. All of that deliciousness. Yum, yum. Now I am not going to be eating much of this ranch because it has so much dairy in it, and I can only do raw dairy, as you'll see in a few weeks for my raw dairy experiment. But I will taste it. I think I'm gonna leave it at 2 cloves because Goran really likes the garlic taste, but not a ton. The masterpiece has been finished, and now my taste tester, my lovely husband, Goran, come. So.
Is this the much discussed pizza rolls?
Yes, this is
the ones that were gonna be done Tuesday?
3 days ago. Yeah, we had a lot of stuff come up, but so here they are. They are now done. So this is the Meat Lover Pizza Rollups with our buttermilk ranch dressing. I only put 2 cloves of garlic in because I know you only like a little bit of garlic.
Man.
Are they good?
Really good.
Nice. These are all for you.
Thank you.
If you'd like to make this recipe for yourself, my book, Complete Carnivore, it's in that book, the recipe section. Complete Carnivore is a complete in-depth guide to the carnivore diet along with 80 carnivore recipes. This is one of them. The Buttermilk Ranch is another. You can pre-order it right now. It comes out on November 4th, so just a month away.
Thumbs up.
He gets to live with me, so he gets all the yummy recipes.
Gets to, has no choice.
Yeah. Shut up. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.